Hi, I'm Colton, and I just started this channel, Life Talk, because I have a very important message for you guys. I want to show you how I think reality works, and I think it would be really cool. And it's kind of just a different perspective. You know, not all of you are going to agree with what I have to say, but at the end of the day, it's just somebody else's perspective, and you have to respect that. And I'm going to try and share with you some of the perspectives and some of the insights that I've gained through my time viewing this beautiful, magnificent reality, and I just want to share some of these things with you. I feel I have to. So basically, science is a beautiful thing, okay? Science has been discovering things the last few years that are magnificent. So basically, when we were taught in school, we were taught as kids that, we're born into this reality, and we don't really do much to change the reality. Reality isn't built from in here. It's an outside world that we're just born into. Reality is there. It's stable. It's totally there. Well, we're finding out now that reality isn't even what we think or what we know reality is. Reality is a lot different. We're starting to realize with subatomic particles and just we're starting to get to the point in science where it's proving that reality doesn't come from outside this physical world around us. Reality comes from in here. Without consciousness, without you observing and being able to observe this reality does not exist. Like, it does not exist at all. And science is starting to back this stuff up. So I just want to tell you some of my beliefs. I'm going to save that one for a different video, but I do want to upload this video, and I think it's just it's a stepping stone for where I want to go. And I just want to show you some of my beliefs and how I look at choices in life, and how I believe choices in life, and how I look at free will. I mean, free will is an amazing blessing that we have, but it can be completely opposite of a blessing as well. You can destroy yourself because of free will. But the beautiful thing is I'm starting to see more and more that everything exists. What you got to understand is every time you make a choice in this life, I believe that once you make a choice, both options happen. Okay, so you choose to be, whatever, a lawyer in your life. Well, in another life, you chose to be a criminal. And let's say in this life, you want to be a police officer. In one life, you're destined to be a police officer, but then you decide to use drugs, and you start to go to the criminal side, and you end up, being a criminal in one life and running and getting killed by police officers who that police officer that killed you in that life could have potentially been your best friend in another life, shooting guns together, playing with each other's kids. Could have been your best damn friend in a different reality that you could have chosen. And that's what I want to talk about here. This is kind of like a tree. It's like a tree of life, I want to say. Whatever. It's just a way that I use to comprehend some of this stuff so I can explain, because it's really hard to explain what's in my head. So I have to find ways to explain it to you guys. Let me just get this camera right. I'm sorry. Alright, so I'm going to flip this tree sideways, and I want to explain a couple things to you guys. Okay, time here is at the bottom. Okay, imagine this tree, this sideways tree, is your life. Okay, all these choices that you have throughout your life, I'll explain. The choice is kind of the branches, which branch you choose. You start out at your life as a baby and stuff, you don't have much of a choice, so you're kind of the tree trunk here. Okay, once you get to that age, you start making choices that are going to affect your whole life and existence and your whole reality. So now here we have time, as these past to future, as these choices are made to go either into the past or into the future. And I marked each choice with a C. Now, I went down a certain route with this. Let's say right here you just graduated from high school, okay? Sorry if the light's in there. But let's say you just graduated from high school here and you have all these colleges and choices you could go to. This choice, you could be a criminal. You could try drugs for the first time and get involved in criminal activity and go this way. And this choice, you can, you want to teach kids, okay? And in this choice, you want to be a police officer or something, right? So let's just say that, all these choices exist, but you choose one. So we're going to follow this path down here, which, guess what, leads you to more choices. You could do this and to branch off to that. Each branch is a choice. Each branch that you hop along is a choice that you choose. And every branch is marked with this C. I don't know if you can see this very well, but those are C's marked for my choices. And in real life, the probabilities are even more choices than what I could even fit on this board. This is just kind of a rough diagram and just trying to show you how I fit this into a tree. And when I look at real trees in the real world, I see this. I see these choices, and that's how it develops in my brain, and that's how I grasp some of these concepts, and I look at nature for answers because nature provides the answers. You need to be looking at nature for answers. Like, God will talk to you. Like, I'm a firm believer in God. My God may be a little bit different than everybody else's God, and everybody's entitled to their beliefs, but I know that there's a God. And he wants you to make the right choice. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to show you that each branch, you go through the future and you grow that choice into a wonderful flower. Each business idea, you plant a seed. Maybe you decided to start your own business here on this little choice going up. Maybe you decide you want your own little business up here, and you make that choice, and you get flowers all along the way. But that doesn't mean, the point I'm trying to make is just because you made this choice. Science is starting to prove this stuff, and it's crazy because the way I look at it is, even though you made this choice, who's to say that all these choices, all these C's, do not exist? Now, if you take a step back and you think about all your choices, and do they exist? Do your choices exist? Well, look at that. It's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful tree, right? Who's to say that just because you took this specific route, which I drew with the purple marker, who's to say that all these blue branches, all these other choices, who's to say they aren't there? See the bigger picture. You have free will. You choose what you want, but at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that all choices don't exist. And it blows my mind thinking about that, because I see the whole tree. And when you look at the whole tree, you realize that we do have free will. And, not our whole life, but majority of our life, it sprouts into a beautiful tree. And just imagine your life as you make these choices sprouting into a beautiful tree. And just look at positivity, because you can't focus on negative things, and just think about it. Like, that tree is beautiful. Even the whole tree, it's beautiful. You think about like a real life tree, and it's just absolutely gorgeous, and I think that life works like that. I think that we're probably, when it comes to like space and time, people talk about time traveling and the grandfather paradox. I personally think that I don't think you can travel back in time. I do. I think what would happen is, there's so many dimensions. Each time you make a choice on this tree, you're splitting the dimensions, but both the dimensions exist. So if you look at it like that, each time you make a choice, that's splitting dimensions, but both choices exist. So you're looking at the whole tree. Who's to say that we can't, and look at every person's tree, and who's to say that we can't go back in time to a different reality that was on the multiverse that was similar to our reality, but just a little bit different. We could go back in time and see the dinosaurs, but maybe that reality had something small, like a different butterfly on that reality, and we can go back and see that, which will give the illusion of us going back in time. But I'm not sure. That's why I don't really believe in the grandfather paradox. I think that if we went back in time to a reality where there is a reality out there, if there's a multiverse, there's a reality out there where, you know, you can go back to a time that your grandpa and grandma met and had you. But if you the way I look at it, if you disrupt that time, that's in a completely different dimension. That dimension is just a little bit different, you know, than what the dimension that we're from. So really, you're not going back in time. You could separate your grandma and grandpa and make sure they never meet and they never have you, but yet you would still exist. You wouldn't just float away, you wouldn't disappear, you would exist, because in the reality of the tree of the choices that they had made, it just blows my mind. I'm sorry, sometimes I just get to talking and it just blows my mind, these things, and I think about this stuff constantly, and it drives me crazy. Like, I need to share a message with you guys, and I don't have any subscribers. I got like 5 subscribers, so if you could help me out and subscribe, I'm going to be making more videos of the way I look at reality, and I'm going to dive deeper into some of these concepts, and some of these, I'm going to give you guys ideas of where you can get these facts. If you a lot of you guys know, if you look up subatomic particles and stuff, you see that they behave completely different, that really they exist in multiple places at once. And it's just crazy, some of these things that we're finding out about reality that we never thought possible. Like, we're taking giant leaps, and I think that's what the 2012 Maya calendar was. I don't think that we're meant to die on 2012. We're taking spiritual steps. We are taking higher steps, basically. We're coming into a new age. We're coming into a wiser age. I think that we're coming back into that better age, where we're smarter, we're wiser, we know what's going on. But at the end of the day, I think all those dimensions exist. And I think if you do go back in time and split your grandparents up, I think that really you're still going to exist. You might not exist in that dimension, but you're going to exist in this one, because this dimension doesn't reflect that dimension, if this makes sense to you. I'll try and break it down in simpler terms a little bit, but it's just, a lot of people are opening up to their spiritual side and getting a lot smarter. And I've noticed this even before 2012. I started noticing my spirituality just jump, and it's jumping and jumping, and I need to share some light on some of the things that I'm experiencing, because this was like 5 years ago for me stuff. Like, I'm trying to do stepping stones here with my videos, guys. Like, I'm way past this. It was almost hard for me to make this video and talk about this, because I'm light years past this right now in my head. But I got to get the stepping stones in there so you understand what the hell I'm even talking about. But just subscribe to me, man. I love you guys, and stay true, stay real, and check out my videos, because I'm going to be uploading a lot more, and that's a fact. So stay awake, guys, stay awake, and I love you, and I will post a video soon. Just remember, that whole tree exists. That whole tree exists. And in the future, we're going to be able to jump to different parts of that tree. It's going to be wicked. Who knows? Anything's possible, really. But thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day.